So welcome, first of all. We're going to do a Hatha / yin style class. And so Hatha just means you're going to hold some of these poses 5 to 8 breaths. I say yin also because when we go into pigeon, we may hold it more like a minute. So it's just a little bit longer. Let me turn the music down just a smidge. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to begin. You have a choice. You can either lay down in Shavasana, or you can lay down in reclined pigeon. So if you decide in reclined pigeon, you're going to go to your back and lay down, and bring the heels of your feet together, and let your knees lay out to the side. Now, if you want more of a stretch, you can bring your feet closer to your body. If you want just a little bit less of a stretch, you can move them away. You can use any pillows or blocks under your knees if you want it to be more restorative. So close your eyes and take a nice deep breath as we settle in and come to the present moment. On your next inhale, allow your stomach to fill up like a balloon, and then exhale slowly. Do this 5 times to really relax your body completely. Your body begins to feel deeply relaxed and sinks down further and further into the earth. Your legs begin to feel very heavy. Your arms begin to feel very heavy and relaxed. You enjoy every moment as your body continues to relax with each word. Now, as your body relaxes, imagine you are a beautiful butterfly fluttering high in the sky. You see the lovely green valley below you with lots of colorful flowers, just waiting for you to enjoy. You feel the wind blow against your delicate wings. As the wind touches you, it gently blows away any worries, any stress you feel. Feel how wonderful it is to feel free. Your mind is clear and calm. You have left any worries far behind now. You're completely peaceful. You are beautiful as you allow your true happiness to shine through. The sun touches your body and warms you. The big, puffy clouds floating in the sky remind you of how relaxed and calm you can be whenever you want, just by thinking about it. The earth is a patchwork of color, and you enjoy each moment here. Gliding along, feeling so joyful and peaceful, you spread your wings in a huge stretch. Feels so good. Your body is calm and your mind is peaceful. You can fly around as much as you like, exploring or just floating gently on the wind. Take in a deep breath and Exhale slowly. Start making some small movements. Give your body a big stretch. Big body stretch. And with a clear and calm mind, say these words to yourself. I am peaceful. I am calm. And I am ready. You're welcome to take in that deep, big stretch, stretching it out, arms above your head, stretching your feet in front of you like a morning stretch. As we become in the present moment. You can roll to your right side. And I want to give you a reminder. Listen to your body as it is today and meet your body today. If there's any poses that you feel pain, come out at any time. Don't stay in any pain. Find your edge, but don't cross it. Let's go ahead and set an intention for this practice. Perhaps a reason for showing up. Perhaps something that inspires you. It could be a couple words. It could be a phrase like, I am strong. I am present. I am focused. Choose your intent for the practice. So from your side, we can sit up in an easy seat as we begin our practice. So let's get into sit in hero pose, so sitting on your knees. And we're going to begin in child's pose. So bring your knees apart, sitting on your heels. You can put the blanket or pillow under if you have any injuries or tightness in your ankles. And let's go into child's pose. So with arms far ahead of you, reach and stretch the spine of your body and head down. Find length in your spine. In our inhale, we're going to come up, push up, and we're going to lean forward to cobra. So stretching our lower back, looking up. Activate your glutes and your legs and point your toes and look up. In our next exhale, we're going to push back to child's pose. Inhale, push up to cobra. Exhale, sit back into child's pose. I want you to do 2 more of those at your own pace. Try and link your breath with your movement. And you can pause in between. And we'll meet in child's pose. Try and settle into this pose. Maybe wiggling your hips a little bit. Activate your hands by trying to reach to the top of your mat, while also trying to pull to the bottom of your mat with your hips and finding length. On your next inhale, let's sit up. We're going to rise to tabletop. And here we're going to thread the needle, which I know is some of your favorites. So we're going to start with our right hand. First, making sure our hands are under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips. With your inhale, rise your right arm to the sky. And exhale, tuck it under your body and bring it through to the other side. And you can reach your left hand forward and make room to lay on your right shoulder. You can feel the twist in your body as you thread that needle. Make any adjustments to make yourself more comfortable. And find your breath. As we exit this pose, bring your left hand under your shoulder, pushing up, bringing your right hand through and up to the sky, and then place it back down and find that tabletop again. And we'll move to our left side. So inhale, rise your left hand to the sky, and exhale, swing it through under your body, relaxing your shoulder to the mat, and then extending your arm overhead. Breathe into those tight spots and find your natural breath. As we transition out, bring your right hand under your right shoulder and push up, unthreading the needle, lifting it high to the sky, and then bringing it back to tabletop. Now let's tuck our toes, and we're going to bring our hips to the sky for downward dog. This is our first downward dog, so you can walk your dog by pedaling your feet. The goal of this pose is to find length in that spine and stretch it out. Keeping your hands shoulder length apart, feet hip distance apart. Bringing your biceps to your ears. Our next inhale, we're going to rise our right foot to the sky for three-legged dog. And then swing it forward through the gate of our hands for low lunge, so we can help bring our right foot in. So with low lunge, we drop our left knee to the ground and untuck our toes, making sure your right knee is over your right foot. Bring your arms up to the sky, relaxing your hips, squaring your hips forward to the mat. Arms up, palms face each other. Now here you want to keep activated in your core. You want to protect your spine. So the goal is to try and open up your hip, and it's a balanced pose. We're going to hold this for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. Frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes. Straighten your leg, your left leg. Ground into your hands and kick your right foot back up to three-legged dog and back to downward dog. Go ahead and walk it out. Get regrounded with yourself. As we move to the other side. So let's find our downward dog. Let's rise our left foot back and up in the air to a three-legged dog. Shifting our weight forward, bring your left foot through the gate of your hands, aiding your foot forward. Knee over ankle. Drop your right knee, untuck your toes. Making sure your hips are square and your right leg is straight back. Rising both arms in the air. You can bring your gaze up between your hands, or you can keep it neutral. And find your breath. You can always recheck in with your knee. Make sure it's not coming inwards. Just keep those hips forward. Couple breaths here. As we come out, let's bring our hands down, framing our left foot, lifting our right toes or untucking our right toes, lifting our legs. Ground down into your hands and kick that left foot up to three-legged dog and back to downward dog. Just drop your knees easily to the ground. Widen your knees and take it back to a child's pose. Extending your arms or putting them on the side of your body. Find your breath. We'll be here for a few breaths. Until you spread your wings, you'll have no idea how far you can fly. As we come out of child's pose, let's bring our hands under our shoulders and push up. And let's untuck our toes, and we're going to push up to standing, forward fold. There was a more gracious way to do this, but you know how it is. Let's slowly rise, putting a bend in your knees, coming to mountain pose. So let's feel mountain pose. So bring your feet hip distance apart. Activate your knees, pulling it up. Activate your core. Roll your shoulders up and back, and hands and palms face forward. Grow tall through your head, through the top of your head, and then find your breath. Regrounding. You can see it makes a mountain peak with your hands. Take 2 more breaths. And as we're at the top of our mats, I'm assuming you're at the top of your mat, we're going to come into Warrior 2. So you can put your hands on your hips as you take a nice step back with your right foot, making it either a 45-degree angle or you can have it parallel to the short side of your mat. Activate your knee, Shift your weight forward to where your left knee is over your left ankle. Twist your top half of your body, your torso to the side and arms out. Palms down. Pretend you have a wall behind you as you grow tall and bring your gaze over your left middle finger. Checking in on that left knee to make sure it hasn't shifted inwards. And breathe. Beautiful. Let's float our hands down to our hips. Bring our left foot straighten and bring it face in. We're going to bring our feet to the side of us, pointing our toes outwards. And we're going to do our goddess pose. So you can start with a wide stance and adjust. And with our next exhale, we're going to sink down our hips into goddess. Keeping your back straight. See if you can make little bounces to get down a little deeper and bring your arms to cactus arms. You can do a mudra if you know any mudras. You can, make them look pretty, but make it look pretty. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So find your breath. As we sit here, see if you can sink any deeper, but you can always come out if you need to come out. Beautiful. Quick star pose. Everything straight. Bring your hands back to your hips and have your toes point forward. We're going to do a forward fold. Forward standing, wide-legged fold. So on your inhale, get some breath. And as you exhale, slowly make your way down. See how controlled you can go all the way down. And you can keep your hands at your hips. You can bring them to your ankles or right in front of you with elbows in. Find which version you like. And then find your breath. Let's bring our hands to our hips if you have them below you or at your ankles. And on your next inhale, slowly rise. See how slow you can go. Very good. Now rotate your right foot, pointing towards the small end of your mat. Bend into your right knee. Activate that left knee. Bring your arms out. Warrior 2. Making sure to activate your whole body. That knee, your abs, shoulders down and back. Gaze over right middle finger. This is a strength pose, concentration pose. Perhaps come back to your intention. Two more breaths. Beautiful. Swoop your hands to your hips. Straighten that leg. And slowly walk your feet inwards. And as we come to the top of our mats, we're going to take a step back. Bring your hands down just to frame your left foot, and then bring your left foot back to downward dog. See if this feels any different than earlier. Do you feel any more stretched? Can your heels come down any lower? Just notice any changes, if there are any changes in your body. Slowly bring your knees down. Widen your knees, untuck your toes, and take it back into a child's pose. Finding your breath just for a moment. As we come out, you can lift to a quick tabletop, bringing your hips forward. And then we're going to tuck our toes and push up back to downward dog. And we're going to transition into our lizard pose. So you can bring your right foot forward, or if you prefer, you can kick your leg back. It gives you kind of a momentum. And if you flex your left foot, it gives you a little bit more height to swing in your right foot. So bring your right foot in between your hands. We're going to drop down our knee. And you can stay here. Actually bring in your right hand on the inside so your right leg is outside of your feet. My apologies. And so here, you want to make sure your right ankle is over your right knee. Take a look back at your left leg. Make sure that it is straight back. And square your hips down to the mat. So for here, if you want to hold the blocks in between your legs or in between, on the inside of your legs, shoulder distance apart, you can do more or less of your blocks. You can bring your elbows to the blocks if you want to do your elbows. If you have a bolster, you can do the bolster here. Find your level of stretch. Now we're going to hold this pose, let's see, probably for another 30 seconds. So get comfortable in the poses. You can always come out or come back, but settle in and breathe into those tight spaces. And I'll be true to the clock because I actually have a clock in front of me here. And you can always take it further. If you're feeling like, okay, I need a little bit more, you can always walk your hands out a little bit. You can always play around with, see where your edge is today. Okay, good job. So we're going to do a little counter pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to straighten our left leg, sitting back. And this is going to help stretch our leg out. So you can come as far back as you want, bending into that foot, bending into that leg. You should feel that stretch under your right leg. always good to have a little balance with deep poses. Very nice. Let's bend into that right knee, placing our hands on the ground and tucking our left toes, straightening that leg and kicking that leg back up to three-legged dog and down to downward dog. You can walk it out if you need to walk it out. Any movements that feel good to you? As we go to our left side. So our next inhale, let's bring our left foot up to three-legged dog. You can put that lift into your right foot on your toes and swing your left foot, helping it along the way to the outside of your hands. And drop your left knee to the ground, untuck your toes. Making sure your left knee is over your left foot. Square your hips. And here's where you can add the blocks if you want a little higher and want to focus just on getting that stretch in the hips. Or you can take it down. Listen to what this side needs, because each side's going to be different. And find your breath. Remembering you can come out at any time. You can always add a prop, take away a prop. Just a couple more breaths. Very nice. Let's lift our hips back and straighten that left foot, flexing the toes up. Where you take that counter pose. You can bend into the leg, you can fold over. Just stretching that left leg out. You can feel that nice stretch behind the leg. Beautiful. Let's bend into that left foot. Placing our hands on the ground on the inside of our foot. Tucking our right toes, straightening our leg, and kicking back to a quick three-legged dog and into downward dog. Bring your knees to the ground. Bring your knees wide, untuck your toes, and take another child's pose. Reground and find your breath. You can let that pose go. Sometimes you don't realize the weight of what you've been carrying until you feel the weight of its release. So help your body just reground, relax. Very nice. Let's come out of child's pose, bringing our hands under our shoulders, pushing up. And we're going to find an easy seat. So bring your feet and forward in front of you in seated staff pose. Legs together, feet flexed up. Grow tall, and here is if you want the option to use your strap. You can use your strap. You can bring your strap around the ball of your feet. Have a nice grip with your hands. So as we inhale, we're going to grow tall. And exhale, folding from the hips, hinge forward. Heart space aiming towards your feet. And then your shoulders, neck, and head. So find length on your inhales, and then exhale, just fold deeper. Keep those feet activated, knees activated. This is a good counter pose as well for our lizard poses. Very nice. As we slowly come out, let's roll up, walking our hands back. And then we're going to do a wide leg forward fold. So let's bring our legs out to the side, as wide as you can with it being comfortable. Now, me personally, I can't get very far forward with this, so I use the aid of my peace fingers around my big toes. So whichever you feel comfortable doing with your forward fold. Same idea with our the first fold. Grow tall in your spine, hinging from the hips. So hinge forward. You can even point your arms forward in the direction you're trying to fold in. Or you can reach to your feet with your peace fingers and help them fold, help you fold forward. You can use the aid of those. Find your fold. And you can relax your neck and your head. And just find your breath. Beautiful job. As we roll up, slowly roll up, walking your hands. If you need a counter pose, you can bring your feet together and kind of put your hands pointed towards your body behind your back and arch your back, wiggling it out, stretching it. Keep your head and neck neutral, or if it feels comfortable, you can lay it back. And it kind of opens your shoulders, your chest, and bring it back to neutral. So we're going to swing our legs back and around, back to tabletop. Moving any props. Apparently I put my props everywhere. Back to tabletop. We're going to kick back up to downward dog. I know, your favorite. So kick it back up as we go into our pigeon pose. So we'll begin with the right leg. You can bring it up and then bring your knee in to your elbow and lay it on the ground in front of your, or behind your hands, straightening your left leg back. So you have your leg, try to be as parallel. It's going to take a while to do that, but as long as you can square your hips to the ground, flex your left or flex your right foot, square those hips, take a peek at your left foot to make sure that it's straight back and toes are pointing. And so once you get here, you can slowly walk down to your elbows. You can bring your hands out in front of you, stretched out, kind of like when we were in child's pose. You can bring your hands to each elbow. Find your edge without crossing it. So we're going to hold this pose. Breathe into those tight spots. We hold all of our all of our worries, all of our stresses. Breathe into those hips. See if you can just allow your body to let go and release. Kind of like a butterfly. From a caterpillar, it releases into a butterfly. Kind of like the theme we have here. Letting go. We're on our final moments, so relax just a little bit more. Last breath. Now we're going to come out of this pose slowly. So if you have your hands extended overhead, slowly walk your hands back and push them up, or push them back, pushing your shoulders up, your top of your body up. And you can tuck your right or tuck your left toes, lifting up, swinging your legs back, giving it a little stretch, and back to downward dog. Now here you want to kind of stretch out that leg. So if you have to make that one, your right leg straight and bend into your left and go back and forth, stretch it out. Let that blood flow through your body. It's like fresh blood. My leg feels all cool. I don't know if you can feel any difference. And let's go to our left side. So you can bring that left leg up and bring your left knee to your left elbow. And you can help your foot over on the mat. Straightening that right leg back. And you can always wiggle it back if you want more of a stretch. But find what feels like a stretch and not like a pain. Keeping those hips square with the top of your mat. Here's where you can find your edge. So if this is where you are today, this is okay. If you want to go to your elbows, that's okay. You can use your bolster and hug it like a pillow. You can even, if you're feeling really flexible today, walk your hands above your head, arms straight, and relax into the pose. Make sure you don't roll inwards to the pose. Don't roll onto your left hip. Keep that left foot flexed to help balance you and keep you square to your mat. We don't want to roll. And now we find our breath. Come back to your intention for the practice. Have a focus. And breathe into those tight spots. See if you can let go. A few more breaths here. You're doing great. As we slowly come out, if your arms are extended, slowly walk them back. And everyone else, walk your hands back to that upright position of the pigeon. And tuck your right toes. Activate that knee so it lifts up. Ground into your hands and kick that left foot up and back. And then to downward dog. Doing a stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch it out. It's bring the knees down. Widen your knees, bring your feet together. Send the hips back. And let's take one final child's pose. You can keep your legs extended or your knees extended out. You can bring them in. Feel what feels good to you today. We're going to take 5 breaths here. As we come out, let's bring our hands back under our shoulders. And we can bring our knees back together. And we're going to do a puppy pose. So come to tabletop. And in this pose, it's very similar. It's a heart opening pose. So why not match our hips with our hearts? So in tabletop, make sure your knees are under your hips, arms are under your hips. You're going to slowly walk your hands out in front of you, keeping those hips above your knees as well as you can. And slowly bring your chest down to the mat and your head to the mat. If it feels comfortable, you can rest your head on a block. And you can feel that little back bend in your back and your chest open up. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can put your hands on blocks. And we're just going to hold this pose for a few breaths. Just let go and allow your body to sink and sink. It might feel tight in your shoulders. So just listen to your body, and you can always ease back and always come out of the pose as if you feel pain. Very good. Let's slowly bring our hands back to tabletop. We're going to push back into a ball pose. So this is our last pose before we have our final rest. So bring your knees and your feet together, and you sit on your heels, and you fold over and make yourself into a little ball. So you're going to tuck your head down, and you can bring your head to the mat, but if you have any neck pain, you can just make it a neutral, and bring your arms, palms up on the side of you on the ground into a little ball, like a little roly-poly. And just tuck into this pose. It's almost like if you were a little caterpillar and you were tucked in your cocoon, ready to be transformed. So get into your little ball. As we slowly come out of this pose, bring your hands under your shoulders and just push up slowly and with control. You can bring your legs in front of you. Bring your legs front. Bring your arms out as we slowly make our way down to final rest in Shavasana. So here, Make any last movements, any props. Make yourself as comfortable as you can. Close your eyes and allow yourself to absorb all the benefits from this practice, because your body's worked very hard and you deserve this practice of laying down and soaking it in. Take a body scan of your body from head to toe. See if there's any changes. Does anything feel different? Butterflies can't see their wings. They can't see how truly beautiful they are, but everyone else can. People are like that as well. Take this moment for yourself because you deserve it. Slowly start making some movements with your fingers and your toes. Just take a nice inhale as we take a big body stretch, like it's in the morning and it's a new day. Bring your hands above your head, point your toes. Take a nice stretch. Hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug. Roll to your right side and take a moment to appreciate what your body has done for you today. And think about how proud you are for showing up today. because I am proud of you, because you are worthy, and I am just proud of you. So we can seal our practice. You can either stay where you are, bring your hands to heart center, or you can join me in an easy seat and seated, whichever you feel you want to do today. And we're going to bring our hands to heart center, bowing our head, bringing our fingers up to our third eye in the middle of our forehead. I want to thank you so much for joining me. It means a lot. The light in me honors the light in you. I hope you have the great rest of your evening. Namaste.